he's right there. Hey, do you have VR?
Do I have what now? What's
Do
going
you
on?
have VR?
Like VR goggles? No.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Shit.
That's a rich people thing, dude.
Not really.
Oh man. I've been waiting to talk to you, dude.
Me?
Yeah.
Why? What's up? Didn't we talk the other day?
Well, I want to get your. Well, we didn't talk on voice, like, and I was like on my way.
You
out
told
the
me
door.
about that fucking the Montezuma dude or some shit.
Oh yeah, the piss guy. Yeah, he's still beefing with me.
He's always a salt mine.
Yeah. He's that pink Himalayan shit right now. So I
this
wanted
is the
to
pink
ask you a
Himalayan.
question, and I don't want you to be like offended or defensive about it. I just want you to like interpret it like literally without any sort of emotion.
Wait, okay, what is it?
Are you still a Trump supporter presently?
Yeah, why?
Have you been given any reason over the past, well, let's look at the year 2018 since it's over now. Over that year, was there ever a point where you said, you know what, maybe I'm not 100% sure that I 100% support this guy anymore?
Nope. I still support his ideals and his,
So you still 100% support him, everything he does?
I mean, I think maybe he could calm down on the Twitter bullshit, maybe, but,
Okay.
I don't know, some days it seems like he's just straight trolling, which is kind of hilarious, but...
That's not even my problem. I just feel like he doesn't follow through on a lot of the shit that.
Well, that's my issue, but I mean, if what you want out of a candidate is for him to do what he's doing, and that's why you voted for him, then you're getting what you wanted. You're getting, you know...
I still want him to build the wall, and that's still kind of being held up by the Dems at the moment.
I don't like Jews.
Which kind of...
I think the wall's in the wrong place. I think that if you want to stop drug trafficking...
You know, it's mostly for the human trafficking and the drug, and somewhat of the drug
Then
trafficking,
you need to put it
but
at
I
the
would think it's
Canadian
mostly the
border.
human trafficking.
Like all the trafficking, you got to put it at the Canadian border because that's where most of it.
Well, I was under the impression the wall was going to go like fucking China all the way around, you know?
I
But
don't
maybe
think
not. Maybe I'm mistaken.
No, I think the southern border wall is for the southern border, and the biggest problem that a lot of people I know have with it is that if you're going to spend a shitload of money on a wall to keep bad people out who are trafficking, then put it where 90% of the trafficking is happening, which is the northern border, not the southern border. That's my opinion.
Well,
I think the southern border
it's
is
possible that certain deep state affairs are trying to get it on one end and not the other. It's very possible.
That's what I
mean,
think. I think that like
most sects of the government are pretty corrupt. So I mean,
I think
I just like
corruption
that
is
he's
systemic.
dishing out the shit.
Honestly,
I mean, both parties are pretty
I
corrupt.
feel like he's a part of that whole Zionist thing.
Who,
deep down.
Trump? You think Trump is a Zionist?
Being a Zionist?
I
Holy
mean,
shit.
it wouldn't
He
surprise
supports
me.
Israel, though. How's he a Zionist? I thought Zionists don't like his. Wait,
No,
am I
Zionists
confused?
do like
Does
Israel. They like
Oh,
Israel
okay.
very much. They're like, yes, Israel can do whatever they want, and it's morally justified. Yes.
I think he's deep down a fucking Jew, and I don't like Jews.
Well, I mean, he is one of the richest businessmen in the world, so I mean...
It makes you think, doesn't it?
Yeah, I don't have any particular issues with any particular ethnic group. I have a particular issue with human beings behaving badly. Like, that's my...
Yep, it's... The stereotypes is what makes people racist anyway. It's like, if you quit perpetuating the stereotype, people wouldn't treat and think that you know, these people are that way because of said stereotype. It's like,
Are you losing some fluid mass here, my dude?
yeah, and if you bump them in, it gets bigger.
Interesting.
Yeah.
You know, oddly enough,
It's
The
stealing my
Blob
soul.
was a movie about the Red Scare and xenophobia in the Western
Oh,
world.
God.
That is what your chair is based off of, isn't it?
What?
The pink
No.
sludge that you're
it's
on
it's
with
just
the
the
skeletal
slime.
parts?
I have, like, it's a gacha. It's just like a random...
Yeah, but
Like,
I'm
I have a
telling you
couple
that
other
the
ones.
thing that it looks like, it's meant to look like a creature from a very, very old movie.
The blob. Oh, it's
Yeah.
got me.
Like that was the
If I
main
bump
antagonist.
this
It was just killing people, and it was like a reddish pink, and it was just eating people up, and it was an allegory for like communism and the Red Scare and xenophobia in the United States. thing that just like kept getting bigger but moved really
I don't
quietly.
think they were talking about xenophobia back then.
They were, dude.
Highly doubt
Go
it.
ahead.
Xenophobia is not something that gives a shit about what time period it is. It exists, and people who observe it are going to talk about it, for better or worse.
What's your opinion on
Yeah, but
capitalism?
I really don't think they were like niggas in the medieval times talking about my xenophobia.
You
I
don't
don't even
think
think
so?
they had that word.
I
I mean,
mean,
they probably had something like that, sure, but I don't think they were running around bitching
xenophobia
about
is an
xenophobia.
English word. I mean, if you want to go
Well, I
back
know it
to
is.
old languages, yeah, there's definitely terms to describe an other, or those guys in that
Actually,
castle over there are bad because they don't have our flag or our religion or
Well, yeah,
whatever.
that's just
Right,
goes with
exactly.
tribe-like mentality, and that's just kind of what
But
human
that's
nature
but you
does.
said that like xenophobia isn't a thing back then. I think that it is a thing.
No,
It's
I didn't
always
think
been
it
a
was
thing.
as discussed as it is today,
Well,
and you wouldn't have
you
like
can
people
discuss
screaming
something
in the
without
streets.
being self-aware about it, right? Like you can have people
yeah.
discussing. Look at flat earthers, right? Like they're discussing
Oh.
physics, but
Oh
they
my
don't
God.
understand physics. Like,
Yeah, no. Even fucking QAnon took a big shit on flat earthers.
Like that's
Big old-
interesting
big
because
old
there's a
shit.
guy who spent his life savings on
Oh,
some
I
kind
know.
of rocket or something to try and prove that the Earth was
Yeah,
flat.
I
I never
respect
heard from
you,
him after
like,
he canceled his
1000%
rocket
better.
flight.
Did he cancel
Like-
it?
Never heard from him. Yeah, he never launched. They did.
Failure
I
to
believe
launch.
they did a couple. I believe they did like a test run, and that was it. And then they like can't. They do. You talking about the guy that like turned his like truck thing into like a steam?
It was a guy
rocket
who spent a
launch
shitload. Like he
pad thing.
basically emptied out his bank account to try and prove
Yeah.
the Earth was flat.
Mm-hmm. He expected to leave the atmosphere within a fucking like rusted steam like machine. Like, come on.
Yeah, a lot
You
of
better luck
Cloudflare, a
practicing
lot of
spinning
words
magnets
have
in a
Greek
torsion
and,
field.
derivatives, but I'm speaking colloquially as like it's English, the common speak that we're using. There's like a billion different kinds of English. If you go back in time, the English that they spoke is not going to jive well with the English.
Yeah,
that
there's
we
even
speak.
English that sounds like glossolalia if you go further back, but that's like something totally like
Oh,
different.
is this the guy? Is this the article here?
This. Hold on, let me see.
This is sad.
Is this the fucker? Yeah, Mike Hughes. Yeah.
Oh man, that's depressing, dude. That's really sad.
At least the Earth is shaped like a frisbee. I'm sorry, dude, but like, dude, just go in a like. I've never even been in a plane, and I know that like if you could go in a fucking plane,
Yeah, it's pretty. Yeah,
like it's quite obvious.
yeah. So I've been.
It's like, oh, but it's because your eyes are spheres, and that's why we get that illusion. Like, get the fuck out of here.
I think
we're
that
gonna be attacked by
at
the
that
central
point you're
sun.
not dealing with science anymore. You're dealing with like a confabulatory like sort of delusion. You're dealing with someone whose mental
Like, not-
defense
not- like,
mechanisms
not
are
even
protecting
pseudoscience
themselves
at
from
that
being
point.
wrong because
Then
like
what
the
about,
human
like,
brain
the
doesn't
theory
want to
of
be wrong.
rocket launches and theory of fucking
Did
orbiting,
you watch
know?
Above Majestic yet?
Like it contradicts all common theories. The fucking flat Earth bullshit.
Well, even if
How-
it does, like my argument is that you can have a theory that contradicts the others, fine, but like you have to support it or advocate for it in a way that's rational. And the problem with flat Earth is that the people advocating for that theory are not using
rational.
science, and they're not being rational. They're being very emotional, and it's clear from observing them that their mind is trying to protect them from being wrong, because being wrong on a core level hurts. It's not fun, right? So your brain creates all these defense mechanisms to try and protect you from being wrong. Even if that means creating your own fucking reality, your own headcanon about, oh, the eye orbs and there's a secret society that's rendering a VR scape to make the planet seem round,
Yeah, my friend thinks VR is gonna like steal your soul, so he won't even use it.
How? Okay, so he's
Yeah,
supposing
I
that
don't
the soul exists. First off,
It's because he. Well, there's I'm
I
not
mean,
gonna get into
that's
it.
an open question.
Because he read the book Snow Crash, and because
Okay.
that book predicted the internet, predicted VR, and predicted like a couple other
A
things,
lot of
and ended
books
up being right
predicted all
about
those
it.
things, though.
Yeah, I know. It's because like the old tale, as it's written, it shall come to pass. Like
See, a lot of people say, oh, well, this guy was smart or that chick was smart. Well, I say, well, I don't think these famous authors were quote unquote smart. I just think that they were less distracted and less mediocre than everyone else, and they were paying attention to patterns. Like, that's my theory. We use smart and intelligent like these catch-all terms to label anybody that makes sense.
Unconscious accessing the collective consciousness.
Yeah, you could make a Jungian argument there and say that there's like a collective lore, a collective mythos that, but we'll never really know for sure. But one thing I do know with some certainty is that there's plenty of people out there that are going to, they're going to be bad humans. Like I was saying, they're going to misbehave and they're going to do bad stuff to other humans, and I don't like that.
I
don't get how other people can do that, cutting off heads and shit. It's like, how the hell?
Well, we used to do that back in the day. That was like a...
I know that, but...
That was a fucking
thing.
But
even then, it was even more barbaric back in the day, but it's like...
They had some wacky torture, like, what is it, trepanning? Is that where they drill a hole into your head or something and drop water on your brain?
Drawn and quartered.
Fuck.
They had tied horses to each of your limbs and had you pulled apart.
Just rip you apart.
Yeah.
Christ.
Yeah,
people would be fucked up.
What was the coffin? That was like a bed of nails that they would shut on you.
That's the Iron Maiden.
Iron Maiden. Yeah.
Some medieval shit right there.
Well, I mean, those people didn't have the ability to address the problems that their people face. So instead of addressing the problems that they were having, like famine, poverty,
they just fucking killing each other.
They said, "All right, hey, I can't fix my shit, so I'm gonna fuck up this guy and feel better about the fact that I can't fix my shit, and then I'm gonna spread a narrative that this guy that I'm fucking up is the reason for my problems, and then it's gonna make me feel even better." Like that's something that is apolitical. You go backwards or forwards in time, and there's always going to be a group of people that have some kind of issue that they can't address or are unable to address or don't want to address, and they're just going to say, well, it's that guy's fault. Let's kill him.
Yeah, it's different when you have circumstantial evidence. But...
So I've been Googling my name in Google Scholar, and I've been finding some pretty interesting results, some thesis papers written about Eve and shit like that.
I'm afraid to Google my name.
Well, I mean, Googling your name and then using Google Scholar is different, because Google Scholar is like peer-reviewed papers and shit, and it's a different type of search engine.
Yeah, I'm not that important.
But now I'm reading a few articles that seem pretty interesting. They're all about the culture of Eve and Eve is real.
What's Eve?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Video game. Yeah, dude, because what if the simulation is real and your character is the creation and it has a sentient consciousness, but it only thinks that it's conscious because of you controlling it? Oh!
I mean, simulacrums are, in my opinion, the highest point of gaming as a medium. Because gaming has gone in these two really weird directions. It's either really stupid, simple, cookie clicker, Angry Birds shit that is designed to just cause a dopamine explosion in your brain, and you don't learn anything, you don't get better at anything, you just, you waste time and money. And then the other kind of gaming is gaming where you're either told a story or presented some kind of puzzle or some kind of complex task, whereby the solving of such requires you to actually use your brain in an active way. And I think that one of those is more popular than the other and will always be more popular than the other. And I think that unfortunately the former of those choices is always going to be the one that is more popular, has more money going into it.
Would you consider cinematic games as cookie clicker?
No, I think a cinematic game, it's telling you a story, right? There's a scene, there's characters, there's a narrative, there's something happening, and there's a result of the actions at play there. And your brain is saying, okay, this thing happened, and now that thing happened because of the other thing. It's good. They did experiments with mice, dude, where they gave them a button to press that stimulated their brain to have an orgasm. And the mice starved to death, and they died of thirst. That's all they did. They stopped doing everything else and they just kept pressing the button. That's us right now with fucking bad video games.
With like phones and all the games and all the shit.
I don't know. I think
That doesn't
games like
surprise me.
fucking Call of Duty is garbage.
Well, Call of Duty at least is, I don't like Call of Duty, but a lot of first-person shooters are at least training you to develop a skill set. Even if it's a skill set that doesn't have any kind of, like, depth
Pavlov
outside
VR
of that
good.
context, it's still a skill, right? Fine motor skills, eye-hand coordination, spatial reasoning.
Oh, fuck.
It's not,
yeah.
it's not training those to 5, but it's doing something with them.
What about third person?
All of these
Adventure
things
games.
that where you can be better than somebody else because of your willingness to research or develop an ability within that context is better than something where you don't get better no matter how much you learn about it.
I feel like games are turning more into a political narrative than a game.
Well, it's the same shit with fucking movies. I mean, for fuck's sake, look at the newest 2 Star Wars. They sucked. Like they
Yeah,
had,
they
like, all
were
this
the 2 Star
political
Wars were.
overtones.
I liked the whole "let the past die" thing because I feel like the narrative
Yeah,
that the
it was
dark
funny.
side and the light side are one and the same, and that there isn't really a right or wrong. It's just how it's framed. Like I get that, but they could have expressed that in a much better way and written that way better because that would have been like a really deep thought, a deep thinker. But no, they just kind of here's Kylo Ren without a shirt. Great. Here's fuel.
It's gonna appeal to the.
Our ships have fuel now,
fan-
guys. They didn't have fuel
fan
for
service.
thousands of years, but now suddenly, without explanation, our ships have fuel and jump ranges like Eve. Like, that's dumb. Teeb, did I tell you that there was a huge blowout on the Mumble and like fucking doomsday protocols were engaged and everything?
I don't know.
Oh my god, what is that? Okay, my cat just took a huge fucking dump and it smells really bad. I swear, every time, like, I think I've got a system figured out, and I'm like, okay, this is great. It doesn't stink, she covers her shit up in the litter box. Every time she just picks one day, she's like, I'm gonna fuck your shit up, fam. I'm gonna drop a fucking hot, stinky bomb in this room.
God, your house smells like cat box.
No, just my room.
Ugh. Talk about hot boxing shit.
Yeah, well, it wasn't bad yesterday. I had company over yesterday, and she wasn't bothered by any of the smells. There weren't any smells because I had the air filter on. But like, if I turn the air filter off for like
Oh god, you put the air filter on while boy, the air throughout the house must have like this litter box like.
No,
tinge.
it's like a portable. It's like only in my room. So if I put this thing on
Oh.
full blast for 2 hours, there's no smells in my room at all. But if I turn it off and it's off for like a couple hours, then it starts to smell like cat shit. Especially if she takes a massive steamer,
Smells like an anchovy's jockstrap in here.
Alright.
I'll be right back.
He's gotta clean the shit. Oh god.
Alright, I am back. So, what's been going on in Mage lately? I haven't been over here. I was here recently.
Well, we've
but other
had
than
some
that-
retard crash in the sim over and over, and they
Yeah,
keep
something
just
like-
losing all of their accounts, so it's alright. Lyndon's be investigating too, because they're fucking literally DOSing the sim with the
That's-
same connection they're connected to Second Life with, like a
That's
fucking
kind of
idiot.
dumb, but kind of funny at the same time. Like that, there's still people around that give a shit enough to crash Mage.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of sad. Like that's somebody's life. Is they wake up in the morning and they think about, man, I'm gonna go into Second Life with a new account and I'm gonna crash Mage.
Yeah, that's all he's been doing since his main account got lost. She's some stupid spick, like barely understands English. Figured out how to click one button and get a sim IP. Woohoo! Anybody can click an about page.
See, the twins are back.
Well, between that person and Band-Aids coming back and crashing, losing an account, coming back and doing it again.
So, is Copy and all those guys, are they still around, or are they gone now?
Copy fucked off because Speed Dude kept calling him a Mexican.
Okay.
Oh.
He
And
just,
what about
like,
that
rages.
girl that was here that was like getting insecure, and because I asked her what she was good at or something, and she couldn't come up with an answer. Were you here for that?
No, I don't think
She
so.
added me
I
to
don't know who that is.
friends, and I accepted, and then she was like trying to roast me, like made fun of my poetry, and I was like, yeah, my poetry's bad, and then she was making fun of my writing, and I'm like, yep, my writing's bad, yeah, hello, hi. And then I was like, so what are you good at? And like she didn't give me an answer, and she started getting upset, so I backed off. But she started panicking. As I was like going away, and I unfriended her. There's a video of it somewhere. But, like I have no idea who she is. I just know that she's like a recent addition to Mage, and apparently she's like trying to become the new Ida Talks.
No, that doesn't sound familiar to me.
She was probably just like a random then.
Most likely. Would help if you had a name.
Yeah, I could probably, if I cared. Did you see that I
Check
made
this out,
a?
So Trump made a poster that says indictments are coming, kind of like the winter is coming.
Yeah, I saw
And
that.
it says November 4th on the one that Trump put out in the article. And then if you look at the date on past November 4th, QAnon made a post of a meme, and it shows those three movie titles that are like photoshops of Guardians of the Galaxy that says Guardians of the Pedophiles, Panic in DC, and FISA-gate, and it has like all these politicians in the
FISA's a
picture.
fucking racket, dude. That FISA has like. FISA's the people you ask when you want them to say
Doomer? What
yes.
is a doomer?
That's like I made that to make fun of the people on Mumble after they had a blowout and went to Discord. Because yeah, that's basically them in a nutshell. That picture is like them. But they're really salty. There was a massive fucking blowout where people like threatened to like never talk to people again and block people on social media. You know.
Who gives a shit?
I don't know, dude. Like, I don't even go on poll anymore. Shit gives me anxiety.
Oh, I don't
Just
get
to see all the
anxiety.
fucked up shit going on.
I just laugh. I sit back and I record shit and I'm like, wow, look at these idiots. Let's watch them fight.
The world has gone to shit, bro.
Nah, the world will be fine, man.
I hope so. Is my mic feeding back, like, really bad?
So relax.
Not too bad, but it is for you.
Up, dude.
Who's Curlex Engineer?
You ready to
The
fuck
greatest person you've
bitches
ever met.
in Sin VR?
What's up, Spidey?
I thought you couldn't get like copyrighted stuff in Second Life anymore because you couldn't pay for it.
What are you
What
talking
the fuck
about?
you
If I
can do?
could
What are you
ki-
talking about?
I can't find anything from Mist or Eve or Morrowind.
Well, Myst is a really obscure game. I doubt you'll find any Myst stuff in Second Life.
There's Myst Sims, but like they don't share any of their stuff.
You ought to just play the game Obduction. That's their...
You can't sell this stuff.
Yeah, I've been wanting.
I
to play
sell all my shit, all my fucking copyrighted shit. I sell it anyways. I don't give a fuck.
Well,
I made
if you
what?
Get some
I made
shit
what?
here.
$14,000 off copyrighted shit this year or last year. I mean,
Need a chill on telling people that.
Yes, say that a little louder for the televised audience back home.
He's like always recording too, so.
Dude, I have people coming out of the fucking woodwork PMing me on Jabber saying, "When's the next episode coming out?" And I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?" And they're like, "Second Life, the epic story. When's the next episode? When's it coming out, fucker? When's it coming out?" I'm like, "Holy shit, people actually watch this."
Like, why?
I don't know. It's
it's a
just
dead game.
people talking. It's just people being fucking retarded.
dude,
But
it's just-
people like,
it's
"Oh my
the
god, I
same-
gotta see it."
what? It's the same reason some people watch fucking VR chat. It's fucking stupid.
Yeah, but like this is a whole
I'd rather
different
play that
level.
than fucking watch someone else play that shit.
Yeah, I'd rather be in there. You know,
I mean, they're fucking free games. Why don't you just play it yourself? I don't get it.
I
Like,
think
why
a lot of
watch?
people are like socially reclusive, and they'd much rather like watch somebody else do the thing, especially if the thing is a social thing. If that
I
makes
don't.
sense.
I have Asperger's, so.
I've talked to people that said like.
I mean, I've been doing reviews of shit now. I've been doing SCP lore. I've been doing PlanetSide stuff. I've been doing work, and I've been doing some work.
Most of the shit I do, I just post on fucking Twitter with documents and other stupid shit and point certain things out. It's like, oh, what is this? Oh, what is this? Oh, you said we didn't do this? What's this?
And it really makes you think. Really activates your almonds. I got Spotify now, and like ever since I got Spotify, I've been realizing that my taste.
How
in
shitty
music-
Pandora is.
Well, I never used Pandora. I used,
Music
Oh,
play.
thank God.
but like I am in love with
We have a
Spotify.
Spotify
now.
bot in Sim.
Spotify's amazing.
Dude, can I link you my one of my music playlists? Does it do playlists?
If it'll work.
Because I have like a bunch of like really.
I hear it playing.
First,
Oh,
let
I
me link
haven't turned down.
the YouTube playlist if anyone wants to watch Second Life: The Epic Story,
What's going on over here, huh?
because that's the thing.
Hey guys.
So,
I'm really like into Portishead, Parvis, and
I
Poe.
was on VR chat a minute ago, but dude, I don't troll.
If I
Why
could
you
just
guys always
find
say that
more
every time?
songs that are
Every
like
time I
Glory
see it.
Box and Roads, I think I'll be set. Cause that's the shit, man. There's
I don't know how
nothing
many
like
times
The
that.
I-
A Lamau thing was probably the only good one, in my opinion.
Quit trolling me.
Which one?
Yeah.
A Lamau.
I
Episode
don't know
10.
people.
Oh, is that the
I
one
just
where we
talked to
go
you guys
to
like
that
2 weeks
chick's
ago.
house?
Yeah.
And like you have your little clones, and like
maybe.
we're coming out of the
Yeah.
water, and she's freaking out and telling us to leave, and you're trying to like probe her.
Yep.
There's one where you're
I
talking
was
to
here with
Montezuma
you
in a
guys
welcome
at the
area,
Remember?
and he's like trying to
Oh,
talk
yeah.
shit, and you're like, aren't you the
guys
guy
were
that likes to be
fucking- she was
pissed
just
on
yelling
or
at one
something?
of you,
And he starts
one of you had a
freaking
block
out
or
and yelling.
something. I don't know what was going on. One of you was the good one.
Is it parts of Voland or something?
I
don't remember who was
forget.
the good
It's
one,
in Korea
I
1
don't
that it
know.
happens.
Chris, maybe, I don't know.
Why do you have so fucking like 40 how many? What the? I know they're only like a couple minutes, but what?
There's
Oh, here it is. Teabag and Xenuria go to Korea 1.
That one's a
That's probably it.
classic. That one's good.
God, you have way too many of this garbage.
Dude, it's
70,
free.
80?
There's 88
88
episodes. There's
oh,
88.
the Piss Curse of Montezuma. What the hell is this? Why is it in Mage? When was this?
The piss curse. God damn.
This is just recently.
Yeah, it is recent.
Is it?
Ahern Reborn is pretty good. Fart Apples is okay. Amity is goob freaking out about Black Desert. Like he really oof.
That game is trash, bro.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's pretty
Yeah,
though.
I like.
there's a
I
bunch of
actually
Brit
like-
bomb
Played for a
shit in
little
here.
bit and then I quit.
Anytime I have videos with Britbong, all his little alts come in.
He's rebranded. He's now Mr. BTFO.
Really? Do you remember that time when like some random person responded to my video and said that like Britbong doesn't even know who I am, and then
Yeah.
then it turned out that that was his alt because like he had to use that.
Yeah, that was his alt.
He's
I remember
a
that video.
shitlord. That's what he does.
That was hilarious because I thought it was just some random troll, but then I was like, oh shit, because I think it was you or T.
He didn't recognize me on VR chat the other day, and then I kept walking around him. He didn't notice, and then when I walked around the corner and said, "Why are you asking children how old they are?" And he just like turned around and muted me immediately.
Have you seen the recording?
He was like going up to little kids, like, "Hello, how old are you?" Like just following them around.
Yeah.
No, that was like 3 days ago.
You told him to get the fuck off Second Life.
Oh, that was the one time when I told him he thought I had an alt in a sim that he was already in that he didn't. Just walked up to it, and he's like, "Hello there, how are you doing?" I said, I just turn on the mic and scream. What did I say?
Get the fuck off
fucking
Second
midget
Life.
get off of YouTube, bitch! And then he like just immediately mutes me, and then goes on like a 5-minute tirade about how he hates Mage.
Oh, Mage.